Thomas was a farmer. He lived in a small cottage. He had a wife and 2 children. They were not rich, but they were happy. Thomas worked hard. He loved his family. They had enough food to eat. They had clothes to wear. What more could they need? Life was peaceful. Thomas was content. One day a stranger arrived. He offered Thomas a strange deal. "I will give you this goose," he said. "It lays a golden egg every day." Thomas was astonished. A golden egg every day? It was hard to believe. Yet the stranger seemed trustworthy. Thomas took the goose. He thanked the stranger. This was his chance for a better life. The next morning, Thomas found a golden egg. It was real. He couldn't believe his eyes. The egg shimmered in the morning light, casting a golden hue across the barn. With excitement and a bit of disbelief, he decided to sell the egg. The money he received was more than he had ever seen. He bought more food, new clothes, and even some toys for his children. The family was overjoyed. The children laughed and played with their new toys, their faces beaming with happiness. The market trips became a weekly adventure, filled with the joy of picking out fresh produce and new items for the home. Every day, another golden egg. Thomas couldn't believe his luck. With each egg, his wealth grew. He bought more land, expanding his farm beyond what he had ever dreamed. The new land was fertile and promising, a symbol of his newfound prosperity. He built a bigger barn to store his growing wealth. The construction was swift, and soon a large, impressive barn stood on his property. It was a testament to his success, a physical representation of his hard work and fortune. He had more than he ever imagined. But something changed. He wasn't content anymore. The golden eggs, once a source of joy, became a source of anxiety. He wanted more. He became restless, always wanting, always striving. The more he had, the more he desired. The golden eggs had brought him wealth, but they had also brought him a never-ending hunger for more. One egg a day is too slow, Thomas thought. Each day he would eagerly wait for the goose to lay its golden egg, but the wait was agonizing. He dreamt of a life filled with riches and luxury, far beyond the simple life he currently led. The single golden egg, though valuable, seemed like a mere drop in the ocean of wealth he desired. He decided to cut open the goose. The thought consumed him, and he could no longer resist the temptation. He believed that inside the goose lay a treasure trove of golden eggs, just waiting to be claimed. With a heart pounding with anticipation and hands trembling with greed, he picked up the knife, ready to claim his fortune. He wanted all the gold at once. Visions of endless wealth danced in his mind. He imagined chests overflowing with gold coins, a mansion filled with luxuries, and a life free from toil and hardship. The allure of instant riches blinded him to the consequences of his actions. But inside there was nothing special, no pile of gold. The reality was stark and cruel. The goose, once a source of daily wonder, now lay lifeless and empty. His dreams of instant wealth shattered in an instant, replaced by a hollow emptiness. He had killed the goose for nothing. The weight of his actions bore down on him. The golden eggs which had once brought him joy and hope were now gone forever. The realization of his folly hit him hard, and he felt a deep sense of regret. His greed had cost him everything. The simple life he had once taken for granted now seemed like a distant dream. The barn, once filled with the promise of daily golden eggs, was now a place of sorrow and loss. He had traded his contentment for a fleeting dream of wealth. He had lost his prized goose. The nest, once a symbol of hope and prosperity, now lay empty. The coop, once filled with the gentle clucking of the goose, was now silent. The loss was profound and irreversible. He had lost his simple life. The fields, once a place of hard work and satisfaction, now seemed barren and desolate. The farmhouse, once a place of warmth and comfort, now felt cold and empty. The life he had known was gone, replaced by a void. Worst of all, he had lost his sense of contentment. The peace and satisfaction he had once felt were now replaced by a gnawing regret. The horizon, once a symbol of endless possibilities, now seemed bleak and unforgiving. He realized too late that true wealth was not in gold, but in the simple joys of life. Thomas felt a heavy sadness. It was a weight that seemed to press down on his very soul. making every breath feel like a struggle. He had always been a man of simple means, but recent events had left him feeling more empty than ever before. He had made a terrible mistake. A decision driven by greed and the desire for more had led him down a path of regret. He had lost sight of what truly mattered. And now, standing alone in the vast expanse of his fields, he felt the full impact of his choices. He understood now. True happiness wasn't about having lots of things. It wasn't about the material possessions that he had once thought would bring him joy. Instead, it was about the simple moments, the laughter shared with loved ones, and the peace that came from within. It was about being content with what you had, the warmth of a family meal, the joy of a child's laughter, and the beauty of a sunset over the fields. These were the things that brought true fulfillment. He went back to his fields. He started working again. The soil beneath his feet felt different now, almost as if it was welcoming him back. Each seed he planted was a step towards redemption, a chance to rebuild what he had lost. He knew he had a lot to make up for. Life was harder now, but Thomas didn't complain. He embraced the challenge, knowing that hard work and dedication were the keys to his recovery. His family stood by his side, their support giving him the strength to keep going. He learned a valuable lesson, one that couldn't be taught in books or by others. It was a lesson that came from deep within, forged through hardship and reflection. He realized that true wealth wasn't measured in gold or possessions, but in the love and connections we build with others, a lesson more valuable than gold. As the sun rose over the fields, casting a golden hue over the landscape, Thomas felt a sense of peace. He knew that he was on the right path, and that the future, though uncertain, held the promise of new beginnings and true happiness. Greed had brought him misery. Contentment, he realized, was the real treasure. It wasn't about how much you had, but how much you appreciated what you were given. And so Thomas the farmer lived out his days. He worked hard. He cherished his family. He never forgot the lesson of the golden goose.